service. At this service, we have some time for two of my favorite readings about the big tent that is nurturing. The first one was given to me by a mother whose teenage son had gotten angry and run away to Mexico with a friend. This was in the old days when you could do stuff like that. And she had several days of agonized worry, not only about her son, but about whether she had been a good enough mother. And someone gave her this reading, and she found it so healing that she gave it to me to share with others, which indeed I have many times over the years. It's by Ann Beatty from her book, Picturing Will. Do everything right, it says in large type, and then it goes on. Do everything right all the time, and the child will prosper. It's as simple as that, except for fate, luck, heredity, chance, the astrological sign under which the child was born, the order of her birth, his first encounter with evil, the boy who jilts her in spite of her excellent qualities, the war that is being fought when he is a young man, the drugs she may try once or too many times, the friends she makes, how he scores on tests, how well she endures kidding about her shortcomings, how ambitious he becomes, how far ahead she falls, how far behind she falls, circumstantial evidence, ironic perspective, danger when it is least expected, difficulty in triumphing over circumstances, people with hidden agendas, and animals with rabies. Second reading reminds us of the nurturing we got is within us to give. It's called The Rhythm of Each by Mark Nepo. I think each comfort we manage, each holding in the night, each opening of a wound, each closing of a wound, each pulling of a splinter or a razored word, each fever sponged, each dear thing given to someone in greater need, each passes on a kindness that we have known. For human sea is made of waves that mount and merge, till the way a nurse rocks a child is the way that child, all grown up, rocks the wounded. And how the wounded, allowed to go on, rock strangers who in their pain don't seem so strange. Eventually, the rhythm of kindness is how we pray and suffer by turns. And if someone were to watch us from the inside the lake of time, they wouldn't be able to tell if we were dying or being born. Mother's Day honors mothering. That special commitment to nurture a child, which a woman makes and carries out. And since all of us at least have one mother, and not only a genetic mother, but a mothering person, man or woman, who nurtured us at least enough that we survived childhood and are here to tell the tale, Mother's Day is seen in this culture as a universal holiday, and its statistics are kept like Christmas. Most meals out, most money spent on flowers, most phone calls. Mothering, both the biological act of bearing a child and the years-long life commitment to raising a child, is hugely important. We human beings are so constructed that without at least a good dose of that kind of care, we shrivel up and die, if not physically, then emotionally. When it comes to human beings, Mother Nature depends on mothering in a big way. The rewards of being a good enough mother and the benefits of having had a good enough mother can't be overestimated. And so for many, many people, Mother's Day is a lovely, love-filled day in which we connect to our gratitude for our mothers and for our children. But it's not necessarily a simple day, even for those whose lives have been filled with motherly love. We're not all effusively grateful for our mothers, and many of us who are also grieving their deaths. Our great need for nearly infinite amount of nurturing makes our feelings about our mother complex and our knowledge about our mothering ambivalent. Nor is mothering always all it's cracked up to be in the Hallmark section. The experience of loss is always a part of mothering, even when it goes well. Children grow up, abandon their childish ways, and go off to make new friends, have new adventures, and live in new baskets. More than a few of you teared up over that puppet show. I know. And sometimes mothering is hard, thankless, painful. Some mothers are also grieving their children's deaths, their children's absences, their children's choices. What is a realistic minister to do about all these high emotions? Because you might not have noticed this, but unlike Christmas, say, Mother's Day falls on a Sunday every single year. You who are here will be interested to know that more people tell me that they avoid coming to church on Mother's Day than on any other Sunday of the year, with the exception of Blessing the Pets Sunday. And on Mother's Day, there isn't even the excuse of allergies. I always promise them that motherhood is a big tent around here that includes everyone who nurtures others or the world, but for some folks I can tell, it's just not quite enough. And it's true that Mother's Day is often way too sentimental. Sentimental does not honor real love, because sentimental is only about the pretty parts, the easy stuff, and the authorized parties. Real love is much deeper, much bigger, much more complicated, and much harder than that. In this church, we stand on the side of real love. The love that means letting go. The love that means sacrifice. The love that means facing change. Love that gives life and then nurtures it, and not just in our families or tribes or cozy communities, but in our complex societies, in our divided nation, in our world full of people who are and always will be different from us and somewhat mysterious to us. What we celebrate on Mother's Day is not so much smiling children at the knee of a smiling mother, although, of course, that is a beautiful picture. It's just not big enough or real enough. The love of Mother's Day is also the love of calming a child's tantrum, of doing your mother's finances, of seeing your teen off to a college you wish he hadn't chosen, planning a memorial service. The love of Mother's Day is the love of correcting spelling tests, nursing your sick spouse, counseling a troubled teenager. And since the love we learned from our mothers or whomever nurtured us is expended not only on children or even on people, but on the world, real love is taking your dying pet to the vet one last time, guiding a church board or neighborhood association or professional group in the ways of democracy and justice, changing your ideas about categories that seemed fundamental to you, like gender and race, because love does not oppress. In the end, not everything is lost, because we human beings have a nurturing bone in our bodies, almost every single one of us. That nurturing bone is never strong, and in some, and it's broken in a few. But most of us can find ours and use it and make the meaning of our lives from it. It's not all we do, most of us. We also create and produce and clean up and imagine, relax, dream, and play, and sometimes all those things come in conflict with the time and energy of nurturing. It's not easy and not always pleasant to have others' dependence in the palm of your hands or heavy on your heart. Not even half of us are capable of biological motherhood, and even then, for way less than half of our lives. but we're called to nurture the world every day of our lives. Is your motherhood expended on your beehives, on your garden, on the neighborhood park which you quietly patrol for trash and dog poop? Happy Mother's Day, and thank you from us all. Is your motherhood expended in letters to the editor, calls to Congress, rallies with clever signs, knocking on doors for the candidates who will make this a better society? Happy Mother's Day to you, too. And if, like me, a lot of your mothering energy is being spent on your parents or your partner right now, if you're paying bills for someone who can't, or visiting rehab or assisted living, happy Mother's Day. You won't be surprised to learn that the nurturing that's on my mind this morning is the nurturing of this congregation. It's people, one by one, through life's joys and tragedies, elations and depressions. Sorry. I'm really not looking forward to this summer. All right, elations and depressions and changes, all the changes that have happened over these years to you. This care, like all care, was both a work and a learning. I aimed to always be there when you asked, but I got a lot out of hearing your stories, watching you adjust and learn. I'm wiser because of you. And now that it's time to let go, and since I learned when my son left home that I could do this, I'll get through it and move on to a new kind of relationship with you, which I'm really looking forward to. Sentimental Mother's Day focuses on all the giving that babies and children and teenagers soak up, all the love, all the cleaning up, all the anguish. But real love also gives back in satisfaction and pride, yes, but also in lessons learned, compassion gained. We who love are better for our loving. There's no Hallmark card from the neighbors around the park who enjoy the litter-free grass, and no flowers from the citizens of the city. Thank you for caring about justice for immigrants around here. And no candy from the kids you buy lemonade each summer on your way home from work, just because you think it's the right thing to do to support them. For those things, we have to mother ourselves. We have to remind ourselves of the importance of love in our lives. The love we learned at the knee of the ones who loved us, but also the love which is often very different from traditional mothering. So you may nurture the world with deeds large and small because it feels good. And if that is the way for you, may you know the joy of giving through the days and nights of your life. You may nurture the world because you believe that in that lies the meaning of your life. And if that is the way for you, may you feel that meaning to your bones. You may nurture the world because you stand on the side of love as a moral commitment. May your nurturing open your hearts to compassion and teach you all you are ready to learn. You may nurture the world as a theological commitment. For if God is love, then the more love is created and expressed in our troubled world, the more God grows. And if she's sitting by her window, looking down on her children, praying that we will find our way home, then you be her guiding hands, her soft words, her big heart. But whoever you are, mother, daughter, son, helper, hoper, doer of good deeds, honorary aunt, beloved teacher, wise neighbor, activist for a better world, if you nurture the world, happy Mother's Day. Because you nurture, because you were nurtured, you have cares and gratitude for being cared for. These are deep feelings, and today is one of the days that we notice and celebrate them. And we do this in church because this is yet another way that we stand on the side of love. Therefore, you're all invited to come forward this morning to light a candle, one of these 3 stations. For your mother, for your children, for the love you give the world, for the love that comes back to you. As Randy plays, please come forward. Come down the center aisle. If you want to light these candles, come down the aisle by the window or the wall to light candles over there, and go back in these middle side aisles. It'll help us prevent traffic troubles. I invite you to use your whole walk as a meditation on gratitude for love, for care, for dedication. And if you don't want to walk, that's fine too. Enjoy the music and some quiet time at your seat.